Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jonah Misiak, and welcome to the coaching mini series where I micro around one question or topic. And today's question is, how can I set and keep boundaries without guilt or fear of rejection? This is a big one, and it's something that took me forever to get. And it was a little bit of a stumbling process. So I'm just so glad you're here today because this is a great big one. Boundaries are so important. Healthy boundaries are so important. It's not about telling people, what they can't do, but it's telling people what you need. So it's completely different. So the first thing I want to say to you is this is not a selfish thing whatsoever. Boundaries are so important for your sake and for others. If you don't tell other people what you need, they won't know what to give you. And also, it is just such a way to keep your energy in and protect yourself, but in a loving, beautiful way. It's not hiding yourself away from the world, but just sharing your needs with everybody else. And I also, sorry, Alex, hold on. It's also so important to know that you matter and your needs and wants matter. So first, it's just understanding that boundaries, healthy, beautiful boundaries, are needed for every single relationship, including your own. I've learned the hard way that I needed to make boundaries with myself as well, between work, family, my own personal time. It's really important to have those boundaries because I would, say yes to a friend when it's like I wanted to be working, but I also wanted to hang out with my friend. So I had to make those boundaries, be like, okay, I need to get these things done. It might not be that I work a certain hour of day, Monday to Friday, and I can't take days off or anything, but it's like, okay, these are the projects, these are the most important things I need to do. And if they're not done, I can't say yes. Or if I'm like hitting a brick against the wall, I allow myself, it's like, you know what? I'm not getting anything done anyways. But it's really checking in with yourself. And it's really over time getting to know yourself better so you can make decisions from a really loving place. The other thing is you can't hear your own voice if others' needs are constantly occupying your mental space. So it's allowing time for you to listen to your wants and needs as well. And also just to get to know yourself a little bit better or what you want and need. I would be so busy being busy that I forgot that I had needs. Like I'd just be going out and hanging out with friends. Like this is in my 20s before I really got to know my needs and wants. And I would just go out there and just do things that I didn't even really want to do. But I was so busy running away from my own feelings and needs. And it can be a hard, tricky place. So just give yourself some love here. It's so important. You matter and you deserve this. Now, this isn't about, like I said, telling people what they can't do. And for a long time, I had a hard time with this. It's like somebody was crossing a line that I didn't like, and I didn't know how to share that. So it first becomes this idea of like, what do you need? So you can share that with them. Sometimes it starts with realizing what you don't want. Maybe somebody comes over to your house without texting or calling first, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't like this. So it's not saying that per se, but if you don't speak up, they won't know that it's bothering you. So if you aren't familiar with setting too many boundaries, or maybe you've had a really hard time with this, it's okay. It's about starting small and then building up. So for example, say somebody asks you to do something or go out, you can say, I need a few minutes to think about this or that, depending on what it is, instead of immediately agreeing to requests. So it's like, I need a few minutes. It gives you this stopgap to let yourself think about what you truly want. Because if your knee-jerk reaction is to say yes to everything but you, this gives you a few minutes to pause and think about, is this what I want to do right now? Or is this something I feel like I have to do? or should do. So I want you to say it with me now. I need a few minutes to think about that. Practice this. Say it often, and it gives you a few minutes to really think about it. Or can I get back to you in a half hour? Things like that. Give yourself time. And then this week, I'd like you to decline one low stakes request with a simple, kind sentence. Remember, it's all about love, compassion for yourself and the other person. I'm not available for that right now. That's it. You don't have to explain yourself. If it's something that doesn't light you up and it's not necessary or life altering, I'm not available for that right now. Just one thing off your plate to make time to figure out what you truly want. And actually, we've talked about this in the other episodes, we've talked about reconnecting to yourself. We've talked about what do you truly want. So that was last week's episode. So hopefully now you have a better understanding if you've been listening to them in order. If not, that's totally cool. Go back and listen. And if you don't know what you want, that is obviously. But when you know what you truly want, when somebody asks you something, you'll know where it lands on your yes list or your no list. And that's totally cool. You'll know what lights you up, like what brings you joy and what sucks your energy out. And of course, there's some things in life that we might have to do anyways. But at the same time, you don't have to say yes to every single thing that does not light you up. Because when you do, then you make no room for the yeses that light you up. And then another thing I'd like you to do is communicate a new need with a close member of your family or friend. For example, Saturday mornings, I won't be checking my phone during that time. It's that simple. So, maybe it's your husband or your kids. I do this with my kids all the time, especially now that they're older and they can take care of themselves, getting their breakfast and things like that. Is I let them know the night before, or, it was spring break when I did this the last time. It was a really good thing I've practiced, and it really worked out well. I told my kids, look, you're off for 2 weeks for spring break. I still need to do my morning routine, so I'm going to come down after that. So I say, I'm getting up at 9:00. This is what I'm going to do, and I'll be down like approximately this time. Like I kind of give them a heads up. And at the same time, my husband works from home. So thankfully, if they do need something, they don't have to go barging in the bedroom door, and they can give me that space and not feel like they can't talk to anybody. So it's knowing that my husband is working and they can go to him if need be, because thankfully his work, he can do that as long as it's not in a few hours of time where he has meetings. So it's sharing with people in your life what you're doing so they can help you. Because if you have all these beautiful plans and you don't tell anybody, no one can help and support you. So with boundaries, it first comes in, what do I want and need? What do I truly want? What lights me up? What brings me joy? If you have questions about that, go to the last episode 3 of this series. And then it's starting to say yes to you and letting a couple no's come in and making room for those yeses. And then it's about giving yourself time to think about, does this actually align with my needs and wants? Does this light me up or drain my energy? And just giving yourself that little pause, saying, I need a few minutes to think about that. And then it's about saying no to a few things that don't light you up and start saying yes to the things that do. And then it's also about communication. This is huge. I tell my husband this all the time. Communication. Every single relationship needs communication with yourself, with your family, your partner, every single person. It's so important. We aren't mind readers. I can't read your mind. It's about communicating your needs and wants with me so I can help support you, right? And that's everybody in your life. It's saying, this is what I'm going to do. I'm carving out Saturday mornings for myself. It's like I won't be checking my phone during that time. Here's a fun fact about me. My phone is constantly on silent unless I'm expecting an important call. Now, I do have people that can come through for emergencies and things like that. And I try to be very mindful of when I look at my phone, especially during work time, but also when I'm hanging out with my kids or my husband. I don't want to always be on my phone. I have pockets of time that I allow myself to check email, check texts, and things like that. And I've kind of just have friends that understand, okay, they'll text me, and at some point in that day or the next day, I'll get back to them. We have this understanding that it's like I'm not always at my phone, I'm not always attached to it. There's actually been a point where I've set an auto text responder to when I've been busy and I know I'm not going to be checking my phone, or that I'm away from my phone for a long period of time. Like, for example, when I did the yoga teacher training, I wasn't going to be around my phone. So I put that on. So then people were texting me, and then they would know that I'm not going to be available for a whole week at a time, because it was broken up into 4 weeks and I go home for the weekend. So it's just really important to use tools too to help you set boundaries, even auto replies on emails. So maybe you have colleagues that reach out to you on weekends or after hours. Set up auto replies on the weekends and evenings and say, I'm away from my desk. I'll get back to you, between the hours of, your work hours. And even on the weekends, it's like, I'm spending time with my family or whatever you want to put. You don't have to put anything personal. You can just say, I'm away from my computer. And then this way, you don't feel that need to respond back to every single email that comes in over the weekend. So it really depends on what boundary you need to set or want to set, but it all comes down to what do you need and want. And then saying yeses to the things you do want and that bring you joy, and saying no to the ones that don't light you up and drain you. And again, remember, this isn't about telling people what they can't do. It's telling people what you need. And it all comes down to that. And then that will help with the whole fear of rejection and it getting really clear on what your needs are and what you truly need to feel at your best and getting grounded in that. And then knowing that your needs matter, that you matter, your time and energy matters, and what you do with it matters. So it's really getting grounded in that first so you don't feel guilty. And over time, too, the more you set beautiful little boundaries, even if you say, I need a few minutes to think about that, the more you say that, and the more you decline and say no to one thing, a little something, maybe somebody wants to go out for drinks and you're just done. It's a Friday and you're like, I just want to go home and sit on my couch. You're like, I'm not available for that right now. You don't need to explain anything else. So it's keeping the explanations simple and short, because really you don't need to explain yourself away, because when we do that, then all of a sudden we talk ourselves back into saying yes. It's like, wait a second. It's like, no, I'm not available right now. Or you don't even have to say no, I'm not available right now. Plain and simple. And if you do want to hang out with this person, but it's really not a good time, you can say, after I'm not available right now, you can say, but how about, and give a new date and time. So it's really about honoring your needs, your wants and your energy, and giving people, the information to help support you on that journey. I hope that makes sense. And when it becomes like behavioral things, like that was where a lot of mine were, people were stepping over my boundaries. It's really just getting clear on how you want people to treat you, treating yourself in that loving way first. And then it kind of spills out to everybody else in your life as well. And when you don't, then those become even harder boundaries. But those are in other conversations. But just setting beautiful boundaries with yourself and others is a really great step. So it's coming from a place of love, honoring your needs and wants, and sharing what you need and want so others can support you on this beautiful journey. And then remembering to honor other people's boundaries as well, right? And it really just comes after you start honoring your boundaries. The more you're like, they're doing a boundary. That's cool. I honor that. It's like the more you see it, the more beautiful it is. I hope that makes sense. So here's to happy boundary setting. And if this is something you're like, oh my goodness, I want more, or, maybe you need to fine tune your boundaries, and I didn't talk about a particular boundary, I talk about boundaries in a course in self-love. It is a self-paced online course that walks you through the steps to really create a deeper, loving relationship with yourself so you can set those boundaries with love and compassion, and you can know what you truly want, so you can speak up and say what you need. So you can go over to my website at jodymisiak.com, and it's under the courses if that's something that feels right to you. The link is also in the podcast description. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for you. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.